Man, there's something about that just makes me just grin every time I hear that, and then obviously the effect of wadding up the film there, but something about a nitro car launching off the starting line absolutely gets me going. But hoping that we're going to be joined by Miss Ida Zetterström here in just a little bit. The NHRA reached out to us today. Said that they probably said she was available tonight. Sent her the link, so we'll see. I know that they're traveling and stuff, so that might not be optimal for them to connect with us on Monday. Usually, it is hard for them to connect, but man, what an awesome weekend she had, huh? Wasn't even expecting to be in the field, and was a late addition to the entry list, and put her in the show in 14th, kind of ho hum, but man, chipped away. Got past Tony Stewart in the first round. Got past second, third round, and found herself in the finals against Doug Coletta. So awesome day for her. So let's check out the couple of the highlights there from her first round. 000 on the tree. Now look, Tony was no slouch. Tony was a 026. You've heard Tony Stewart talk about this the last few weeks. You've heard the whole field talk about Justin Ashley, reaction time. Oh my God, the dude can be, 020, 030 on the tree like nonstop. We've got to get better. Tony Stewart goes out there and is 26 on the tree and is last to leave by 26. That's got to be frustrating. Even though she outran him in the race, he had some mechanical issues there midway. But to not even have a positive to take away from a loss, like and in this sport, it's so important to be able to feed off of, if we got some negative, well, some positive. Hey, at least we got, we were good on the starting line. Man, we were good on the starting line. We still got beat, right? This doesn't matter. So let's take a look at this.
Tony Stewart and Ida Zetterström backing up from the burnouts. And for Tony Stewart now, you talk about pressure. That American Rebel Light TSR Nitro Dodge, number 4 in points. 1 and 2 have already advanced. That makes this an ultra important round. I don't think we're quite at must-win point of the.
We will pause now and welcome in.
Hi.
Hello, Ida. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. We're trying to log in earlier. Somehow we won't do it all let me. But I'm here now.
No, it's okay. I was just going through some stuff. We were actually just about to start covering first round, and so tell us how was your heck of a weekend, right? You wasn't expected to be there. You kind of show up late and throw your cards on the table, and here we are.
Yeah, no, just like you said, we weren't expected to be there. It was not one of the races on our schedule. We talked about it briefly last weekend, saying that, we tested our car after Indy, ran well, and we wanted to go somewhere and run it a little more. And we were trying to see if we could possibly get it to St. Louis. Joe made a decision on Monday, basically saying that let's go to St. Louis and let's try and run this thing the way, we know it can be ran. Assembled the team. We got a small crew, so we got several flying guys, and they were able to come in kind of last minute, got tickets fixed for them, and we showed up and had a great feeling coming into the race. When you get the feeling you have a race car that you can go race with, and all the team is pulling in the right direction, and get to add an extra race is always something special, because it feels like it's a little bit of a wild card for us, coming in and doing something with it. So we struggled a little bit through qualifying. Not gonna lie, we missed it a little bit there on that throwdown session. We got the car down there, but not really as aggressively as we wanted it to. Wanted to move up a little bit on the ladder there, but Sunday was a great day for us. So yeah, super stoked we were able to go.
What specifically was it about that test that you guys felt, hey, maybe let's get this in? Is it something you guys can see data wise? Is the more runs you're getting? What was it about that made you feel comfortable getting in there?
Well, basically, without getting into it too much, we were kind of chasing a problem for a long time, and we haven't really figured out why the car hasn't acted the way it should. Hasn't really wanted to do what we wanted it to do on track, so to say. And we found something in Indy when we were running the last day that have been haunting us for a while. And we decided last minute to go test after Indy on that Tuesday after the Indy Nationals. And it just ran the way it should. Finally, you know, what the input that they were making on the car, it actually acted the way it should on track. And I think it was just a huge sigh of relief for everybody, because, you know, when you're chasing it for so long and it doesn't really get to the point where you want to, it's frustrating for everybody, you know, losing so many first rounds, and then especially not having the consistency in the car that, you know, my crew chiefs and my team know that we should have and we can have. It gets frustrating. So finding that, I just felt like, even though it wasn't even on a race, we just went out there testing and we ran well. It just lifted the whole spirit for a whole team, that we could see that finally we have something that we should be able to go racing with. And that's exactly how it felt when we rolled into St. Louis. Obviously, no matter how good of a car you have and how good of a combo you have, it's never easy, and it's always going to be, you know, up and downs and things you got to fight anyway. So it's not like we had a perfect car in qualifying. It's not like we had a perfect car on race day either, but we had a car that ran, and we were, you know, second low of the session, or, you know, among the quickest several times when we came to race day. And that meant a lot. You know, the second round, for example, racing Cal Wurzel, we knew that track conditions, it's going to start getting hotter. We really, really wanted lane choice. My main focus going into that round was staging that car as shallow as possible and run for lane choice. And, you know, we put that 380 with a 2 on the board and towing the car back. I was watching the scoreboards and I saw Antron put down a 380 with a 7, and I screamed in my car. I was like, yes, we got lane choice. Like, that is, for, obviously, I'm not saying the lanes were uneven. I think you could won from any lane, but to be able to do that for your team, you know, to give us the best opportunities possible on race day, and show that we got a car that can go out there and run with the best teams in the world, that means a lot. So.
So that backs up your statement. I was going to kind of get into your reaction times, because that's the big triple zip. And then as you're saying, you know, staging it shallow in against Kyle to try to get that ET, and that reaction time kind of shows, because I think you were 088 in the second round, right? And it's like, wow, that's a big difference. But somebody looking at that would say, wow, that's a huge difference. But there's also a lot of different techniques that are going on with that. And I got to ask you, do you wear any sort of biomechanic stuff? Because I know you said you were amped up in the first round. What was your heart rate there on the starting line? I know it had to be up there.
No, we don't have anything like that. And just like you mentioned, there's different ways of running the car. And this whole year and all last year, and my way of running the car has always been stage as shallow as possible, try to flicker that bulb, and you know, give the ET to the team. And then that's your main focus. Coming into this race, I was really amped up, obviously, on Sunday. I knew we were in the point of our season and our kind of hunt for sponsorship dollars and being out here, where every round counts so much that, like I said, I don't think I've ever been as amped up in the car. But I also, my main focus was cutting a light. My main focus was not to, for once, you know, flicker that bulb. So I did go in deeper than I normally do, than I've done on race day before. Not to the point where you take the top bulb off, but to the point where it was, instead of sitting there flickering, you basically hold your brake and you go really, really slow to make that tires just move. I went bam, bam, and I went in. And when the light dropped, I saw the light. It wasn't, I didn't go before I saw the light, but as soon as I saw something, I left. And since I was in deeper, that cut it way too close. So
close enough.
Yeah, well, you know, normally in a fuel car, if you can be 50 or 60, you're really good. We have the likes of, you know, Justin Ashley and Sean Lang, the 30s and 40s, but that is normal. That is something that some people can do every now and then. They're basically two of the only ones that can do it on the regular. But I don't know actually what that reaction time would have been. Maybe it would have been a 25 or a 30, I don't know, but it was the best reaction time I've ever had. But for the fact of me being in deep, it cut it way too close for comfort. I looked at that time slip when I went in, or when I went around the corner. Obviously, I knew that I was in deep, so I knew that it was or deeper than normal. I knew it was going to be a very low reaction time, because you feel when you leave the line that you left right away. But when I saw that being a trip sip, I was like, yeah, I might need to dial it back. that was way too close for comfort.
Well, I mean, not to go overlooked, Tony was 0-26 there in that round.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, so
sure.
like that was a battle. That was a battle. But
for sure. And when you look at the slow-mo of it, you see the light come on, and as soon as the light come on, me and Tony go. So and that's also one of the other things. Tony can be a great lever. Tony's always a good lever, but on race day, Tony can really amp it up. And I mean, he showed it right there with that 26. So I also knew that I could not leave anything on the table, and I did not want to lose on a whole shot. That was just, I wanted to make sure we got the car down there and that we basically did everything we could to win that round. And obviously we ran quicker too. So I know that some people come at me already and said, oh, you were just lucky. You left before the tree. I didn't leave before the tree. I got lucky that I wasn't, that wasn't a red light with how deep in I was, absolutely. But everything is game on race day. That is not something I've normally done. And it was not for me to try and mess with someone going in deep. That was just me trying to focus everything on winning that round. And that ended up being a little bit of a deep stage and a little close, cutting it a little close. But we did run. We had a faster ET as well, and my team did a great job there. I mean, that run would have been quicker too if I wouldn't have been in. That would have been every bit of a 378 at least for our team. So it was a good run, considering the conditions we had that day. It was kind of hot out there in at the Worldwide Technology Raceway. So obviously coming into the next run, I first of all didn't want to cut it that close. I did really want to be shallow, right. But the second reason for being shallow was that we really wanted lane choice. I mean, I wanted to give my team every bit of a chance as we could to make that a good race and feel that you might not need lane choice, but you take it if you can have it. So
absolutely.
The thing with the 88 was probably part of me trying to dial it back a little bit. And then once again, when you are so focused on only staging shallow, then it depends a little bit on how the tree drops. You know, that's kind of a random drop. So yeah, I was a little slower than I would have wanted to on that one. But yeah, that was what it was. And then we ran a really good run on that one. We got the lane choice we wanted. I was super, super amped up about that. And then when we came in to run Antra on mine, my focus was to do the exact same thing. Go shallow, cut as good of a light as I can. And I was able to cut a 69 light on that being shallow. And obviously we didn't get lane choice on that one. We had some cylinders out spinning a little bit down track. So we didn't get the ET we wanted to, but at least I gave it what I could on that to be the best on the tree and also give us the best opportunity for possible lane choice.
Yes, I mean you went through some absolute masterclass of drivers in the motorsports world, right? Tony Stewart, Antron Brown, right? I mean, Kyle's no slouch, right? And then
Kyle has a fantastic team.
That's too. What I mean, and
Lagana and everybody around them. They've been running so strong this weekend.
Absolutely.
So that was definitely not someone we took lightly.
Yeah.
I've been looking at Kyle's lights too. He had done a good job, and I ran side by side with him in qualifying. He put down a 71 there on the throwdown run on Friday, and we were not able to do that. So that was definitely not a team that we took lightly either.
Yes. So tell me, so we're talking about a lot of first round exits this year. That has its own personality, getting back to the pits and you tow back. It's just, it's time to load up, maybe do some PR stuff, but it's just not as fun. Man, coming back after that win against Tony, you're amped up. How does that feel? How does that feel coming back into the pits and, oh, wow, we got to get going again. And that was a big win, and you're coming off that high. How did you stay kind of even to prepare to prepare for the second round? It's not like you got all day to prepare, right? You got to come off that high and get ready. Like, what did you do in between rounds? How does that look?
I mean, that's how you want race day to be. And I know that in NHRA, I have not won races out here, and we have not gone as many rounds as we want to do out here. But I'm used to racing over in Europe. I mean, I've done 23 years of this now, and I've had many race days like that over there. So you kind of just slip into your normal mindset of what a race day is when it's, hectic and stressful, and it's the way we want it. So, usually when I come back, the first thing I do, you go in, you get your time slip to your crew chiefs, you talk to them, you give them the feedback that you have from the car, or, tell them, like obviously the first thing I said, hey, you guys saw it was deep. So that 60 foot was not really accurate. I mean, it's all these small things. We always have cameras too, to show that. But as a driver, you give them all the feedback you can, and you ask if there's anything that felt off or whatever it might be. The next thing I do is obviously slip out of the suit, because it was freaking hot at the track this weekend, and go out there and pack my parachutes, make sure that we get those in. I got some help from some friends to come and push them in, because obviously we needed all hands on deck with the crews on the car. And then I go and I mix my fuel. So I mix my own nitro. So I started mixing nitro, putting fuel in the car. When I was done with all that, trying to, between all this, drink some electrolytes. I didn't eat anything on race day, but I was chugging those water bottles and got those electrolytes in to try and stay at it, especially when it's that hot outside. So obviously doing all that, and then by the time you're done with that, that's when you pick up your gas mask and your earplugs, and you jump in the car for warm up. So it's kind of hectic in between runs. So it's not like you have a whole lot of time to sit down. So usually after warm up, do that. I went and I jumped in my suit, and that's when I had about 5 to 8 minutes to kind of lay down in the AC, to try and get body temp down a little bit, and just get a little bit of water in, and then back to the lanes again. And that's basically what we did all day. We had, between semifinals and finals, we had Alex's team and several from Ron Caps Motorsport came over and helped us. We are a small team, and normally we have one more guy that comes in and helps us. But since this was a last second schedule ad, we didn't. So they came over and helped us with blowers. I had one of Alexis's guys came help me pack chutes, and him and I pushed them in, and I did fuel, and we just made sure that we had everything done and ready. So I like those days. That's how race day should be, when it's go go go, and you don't really sit down and you don't have time to think about it. You just wanna keep going and make it as long of a day as possible. But yeah, I'm happy I've been in situations like that before, obviously over in Europe, but it's been a while now, and it felt incredibly great to be back in that mindset, I have to say.
If you don't mind, I was going to go through some of your some of the highlights of your day. We'll go through that real quick.
Season, Courtney, but we're rapidly approaching that. Especially when you see 1 and 2 advance. Ida Zetterström trying to make a statement this weekend in that VP Racing Fuels Dodge of Europe JCM machine, as she searches for funding to try to run full-time next year. A perfect reaction time for Ida. And she's going to do it. 380 at 323 miles per hour. Are you kidding me? Ida Zetterström was trip zip in a top fuel car.
So I know you said, you were in there and you left. Like, I've done it a few times before in a door car. Anything remotely that powerful, obviously, but it just there's something magical when you see that, and you've let go, and it's like, oh, that was going to be really good. I hope that stays green, because how close was that? You had to know. It's like, oh, that was really, really good.
Oh yeah, I took 2 double checks on the red light when I passed just because I knew I was in there a little bit, and when I left, I knew I left better than I've ever had. I've done a few trip zips before in the junior dragster, but that's how long it's been, because you don't do that.
That doesn't happen
in a lot of other classes, especially when you get up to the pro classes. It's incredibly hard to pull a light like that. And if I would have been very shallow on that one, that would have been, I guess, 100%, because you can't be shallow and put a trip zip on the board. But obviously being in a little deep, it's like they say, you win a little on your reaction time doing that. And it's definitely not something that I normally do, but well, I did on Sunday. I'll own that, and it is what it is, and that's what happened. And yeah, I cut it way too close for comfort, but at least it kind of divided people. Some people think it's incredibly cool because we never see a trip zip on the board, and some people they think I just got incredibly lucky not being a red light. And I want to say both of them are right, but I did what I did, and
hey, your crew chief has got to be lucky on the clutch setting at the certain part of the track. Everything comes down to there's certain times you got to get away with things. As long as the green light on the tree matches the green light on the scoreboard, that's really all that matters, right? So
yeah, and honestly, if that would have been a shallow stage, that would still been the best reaction time of my career. You would probably have seen almost identical reaction times from me and Tony, so that it would still have been a fantastic light. It just was a little better than I thought it would have been.
Yeah, but even looking at the ETs, you could have been about a 80 or not. Actually, I think you could have been a 10 or 12 and still won based on ET, because he had issues.
He had a hole out at the step, and I saw several people saying Ida got lucky winning on a hole shot, but that's not really the full truth either. Because even if I would have pulled an 88 light that I did on the second pass,
you still would have been good.
Like me this weekend, we would still have had a better running car. So it's obviously, I mean, I really like Tony and his team, and I respect them a bunch. So it's not like I went out there and want to ruin anybody's chances of a championship, but everybody got stuff. I mean, I'm out here trying to prove that I should be out here, and I'm trying to find, sponsors to stay out here full time, and honestly, to stay in the country. I mean, if I don't have partners to run next year, I don't have a visa, I don't have a team, I don't have a chance to be out here chasing championships in NHRA. So I know there's a lot at stake for the Tony Stewarts and the Antron Browns that we took out on Sunday, but there's a lot at stake for us too. And our team is so hungry, and we have been working our absolute asses off for the whole year. And for my team, I'm so proud that we were able to do this, because I know that we can do this, but we have not been able to show it on race day, and it's hurt us a lot,
Well, let's look at some more accomplishments on race day, shall we?
This is Kyle.
This is your second round against Kyle again. Nobody to take lightly.
Here we go, Jason. Will round 2 of elimination
got from point A to point B. We talked to Sean Reed a couple weeks ago, and that was one of his things. It was like,
I know you watched
we calmed it down. We started going point A to point B, and we started learning more and more and more. And especially on race day, those test days are nice, but race day data is a lot different.
NHRA competition. Ida Zetterström has been to 1. And it was in her debut at Brainerd.
That was the
1 year
team too. They are
and 2 months ago.
That can constantly go down.
That VP Racing, 50th anniversary.
That's why nobody takes them lightly. I mean, they were number 6 qualifier. We were sitting 14th. So this was, I heard the people on the PA when I was in the car saying that Cal was the favorite going into it. I understood it, but 2 underdogs going at it.
So you got in really shallow. 88, but you got a really good running start. And a nice lap from point A to point B.
Yeah, and I believe that was the second low of the session for our team, which was obviously a great statement, showing that, we can run with the best on Sundays.
Yes. Yeah, so again, second low, and looking for lane choice going into round 3. You're on the side of Antron, and Antron, gets by. So man, you've got quite a side of a ladder.
Yeah.
And so you get by, and then you get lane choice coming in to round 3 against Antron. And what are you thinking here? What's your strategy here? We're still looking to shallow stage to try to get lane choice going into the finals. We're still feeling pretty good because we got lane choice this round. We're feeling pretty good going into it. Yeah.
Yeah. This was basically us trying to do exactly the same thing as I did against Cal the run before. We said it worked. We ran good. Just keep doing what we're doing. Just keep repeating. So try to do the same thing. I just tried to cut a little bit of a better light, and that was basically the only mindset going into it. Like, don't try and overthink it. Just do what we've done all day, do what we know we can do, and then we'll see what happens.
Final round.
Let's take a look at it.
23 FIA champion Ron Brown. In that Tools for a Cause, Mac Tools, Hangefors, FVP Toyota, trying to reassert himself.
I would be so giddy racing against these people. I would be so giddy.
You can't let it get to you.
It's so cool.
Antron smokes the tires, and for the first time
There you
in
go.
her career, Ida Zetterström will race for
So
a
the
while.
cylinders were
And
out
then
there. We had
turns
some performance issues here. It kind of slowed us down. I know you had talked about, and I wanted to ask you about that. You talked about like during a run when you got some stuff going on and you just waiting to hear the guy in the other lane just come screaming by.
Yeah.
How does that feel when you're holding on and it's going for all it can go and you know it's not going very much, but it's just going all you can go and you're just waiting like, are they coming or not? So
it's
how does that
really
feel?
hard, honestly, because on this run, he was running really well. It started, if you look at the slow-mo, like really close up, it's starting to haze the tires like a little bit down track, puts the holes out, and then, it slows down so much that you got holes out, you know, you can't, it wouldn't help to pedal the car. Obviously, that's not going to fix an issue like that. So you just hold on to it and you just kind of wait and see what's going to happen. But I did not know that Antron had smoked them early. So obviously, in my situation, you are just hanging in there and just hoping, that he won't come flying by. Because, I've had that before too, when you are basically ahead and then that happened. That's kind of how it felt in the finals. So it's a stressful time when you do that. But when you see the win light comes on, it's a huge sigh of relief.
Right. And then we get into the finals. Not what we wanted. Wait, where are we at?
Competition 392.5.
So we get into the finals, and it's not what we wanted to do. Not the outcome we wanted. But nevertheless,
they're locked in.
So
She's
good.
hazing the tires. It's Doug Coletta.
370, or to about, it seemed like about the 8th mile mark. It started to to get a little bit wonky on the tires, but man, it started digging. You guys were neck and neck. Like that race was a good drag race till about 8th mile, and it kind of got away from you. Just a little too much power. That lane kind of seemed to be a little bit tricky down track a little bit to some people. I think maybe got caught up on the lane choice battle.
Looked like we had a scuffed piston quite early, and when that happens, you can't tell that it has a cylinder out. It doesn't look like it on video, but it acts like it. Like the car is going to act like it does. So if you looked at the incrementals, they were slowed down to what we wanted it to run. And when it does that, it's also down on power. And when it's down on power, that's probably why it started running worse down track. And after a while, it's just, we ran into too much of issues. We couldn't catch up.
It ran out of steam.
Yeah,
ran out of power, ran out of steam.
It was one of those things, sometimes it can be a small thing like that. It can be anything from, a parts failure or, whatever you might have. I know we're looking into all of that now, but it's, you're racing one of the best drivers to ever do it in Doug Coletta, and obviously with Alan Johnson and their team. It is not something that you put your safest tune up in and go down and hope that he smokes the tires. It is something where you gotta go down there and you're gonna have to try to throw a wrench in it, see what you can do, for this final. So we are still, I know that our team is not 100% where we want it to be on tune-up either. I know that they feel like we still have a lot left in this car and a lot left to show. We are just right now, finding our stride on what this car wants and been battling issues for a while, and now finally have a car that does what we want it to. So this is basically our first race. We treated this as our first race with a race car that we can run with. So I know that my team want to be able to give it even more, in the future, and we want to be able to really show up for the showdown runs. And I'm really happy that we can run well in the heats that we've been doing now. But I know that we need some more time to be able to come out there and really do this on a regular. But I'm incredibly proud of what we did on Sunday and what we showed, we could run with the best out here. So yeah, I think overall this team did a fantastic job. We haven't gone 4 rounds since we started, and like I said, we got a small team. We got a small group of guys, and we do this part-time. But there was never a point where we were late on warming up before a round. There's never a point where we had to hustle to get down there to run. We smashed out all the services. The guys did their job perfectly. There was never anything, that was wrong or, had a problem in warm up or anything. They really did a great job, which I think is a huge testament to the team and where we feel like we could be if we had the budget to run a full season, you know.
So going into that, what's next? Where are we going next? Where are we going to see you at?
Dallas.
Are you going to be in Pomona?
Dallas and Pomona. Those are my last two.
I think I'm going to be in Pomona actually.
Awesome.
So I will be looking for you out there. But all right, so we got 2 more races on the schedule. Plenty of time to prepare. A lot of momentum going into Dallas. A lot of good vibes. So that's the key, right? We're going to get out there, make 4 good qualifying shots, and let the chips fall where they may. And hopefully we'll be talking to you again soon.
Oh, I hope so too. Absolutely.
Well, hey, I appreciate you stopping by. I was going to cover some more of the finals and stuff in some of the other categories, but thank you very much for your time. I'll let you get going and enjoy your night. But you got any sponsors to thank before we sign off?
Yeah, we had the VP Racing there on Sunday morning, and they had a group of their partners with them, and had a great time there. Normally Sunday morning is not the day where we normally have big groups, but we had such a good time, and they signed my fuel tank for good luck, and it seemed to be working. So we got some really good.
I have to bring him back.
For that. I thought that was really fun, and they shared us on all day, so that was great. And just want to thank all of our partners and our fans and supporters that have been pouring in messages. I have not been able to really answer all of my texts and messages, but I see a lot of it, and I'll get back to everybody. I really appreciate it, and really happy to have partners like VP Racing and Dodge. Obviously, I mean, I know Dodge didn't love the fact that me and Tony raced first round when they had 2 Dodge cars right there, but really happy to be, with a brand like that. And the same with the Leatherwood Distillery and Michael Waltrip Brewing, and, all the brands that have stood by us since I started, Lincoln Electric. And, we have a lot of good supporters out here. We are just now looking for more of them so we can be able to make next season happen. So I hope that this kind of gave a little bit of a glimpse of what we can do when we have the right things and everything in order, and we can actually go out there and show what we can do. So I'm hoping that it might be a little bit of a wave of positivity going into these next couple of weeks, making kind of the decision of what we're gonna do next year. So
T, I think I've heard your phone go off several times during this interview. I know you got those texts rolling in. So we'll let you go get caught up on that. And thank you very much for stopping in.
Thank you for having me.
Hope to see you again soon on Nitro Nation.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Yep. All right. That was so cool. So that was cool. She stopped by. What a fantastic day for her. Runner up. Didn't quite get the Wally that she wanted, but what a fantastic effort. What a fantastic day. But going into motorcycles, so last week Richard Gadsden got the Wally, and coming out of the points coming out of St. Louis looks a lot like this. Gage Herrera is not your points leader, although this is the final round here.
A red light start for Davis by 1,000th of a second. Gage Herrera will ride down the racetrack and triumph yet again. The 27th victory of his career in his 32nd final round, and he will leave 29 points behind Richard Gadsden.
Well, Gage, you quipped in qualifying that you've never really been in the position to chase someone in the points. A great day for you. What version did we see of you this weekend?
I personally, I think I kind of sucked a little bit. My light was kind of all over the place today, but my whole team has my back, and that's what showed. I mean, to get the win here in St. Louis on my birthday, I mean, it's just, there's nothing better than that, But for the whole Van Size Motul, Suzuki, Revzilla team, I mean, it's awesome. I made up some points, but there's a lot of races left. But awesome job to Braden. He did good. He threw it away there with the 001 red. But the kid's he's coming up, and he's a force to reckon with. So I feel bad, or I kind of don't like he's under our own tent, with the same power and everything. But he's doing really good, and we're off to Dallas from here. So hope we keep it going. Thank you. Woo!
All right, so Braden Davis, 001 red in the finals. So close to having an absolute perfect light. We saw Ida with the perfect light earlier, but So there's your points battle in motorcycle. Richard Gadsden atop your motorcycle points. Remember, Gage Herrera had been dominating that pretty much all year. And now here in the countdown, it's a little bit different deal. So Gage Herrera, number 2 in points. Richard Gadsden leads by 29 points. Big move in pro stock. We saw last week Dallas Glenn get the win, but this week it was Dallas versus Greg in round 2, I believe it was, and Greg got the best of Dallas and went to the final
for Matt Hartford in the winner's circle.
And left on Matt Hartford.
Continue, it may not. A classic pro stock final round. This one right down to the wire it goes. And win light comes on for Anderson. 6:53.1, 209. A margin of victory of just 29 thousandths of a second. And Anderson adding on to a Hall of Fame career now with 112 victories.
And the presentation of the Wally from Napa, who was the title sponsor here this weekend. And Greg, go ahead and take that, Wally.
What is that? Sorry, y'all.
Now, we've talked to you throughout the day, and you knew how crucial it was to get Dallas out early. And now as we head to the second half of this playoffs, you called her evil earlier this weekend. What name for her do you have for your race car now?
She was a sweet ride today. What a change. Yesterday, we definitely did not have we didn't have the round holes and the round pegs. Completely wrong all weekend long, and today was absolutely flawless, 4 runs in a row. So can't thank the guys enough. They put their heads together last night, figured it out. The old hot rod's back. So going to be great. We're halfway home, halfway through the playoffs, and Dallas and I obviously are still duking it out. It's not over yet. There's still other cats alive, but we feel pretty good about what we've done so far. So looking good. Thank you, Mr. H. Got another W, buddy.
All right. So Greg Anderson came into the week, I think he was 75 behind. And he tightened it, or 76 behind, and he tightened it up to 25. We got us a good old points battle here in pro stock. We obviously got points battles everywhere, but should be interesting down the stretch if Greg can tighten it up on Dallas, because he ousted him in round 2. So should be interesting to see what happens. Let's take a look at your
pivotal moment here for both of these men. Can they pull within 45 or 20 respectively? They stage for the funny car final. Snapping off the line, Hagan's got him. Hagan's driving away. Matt Hagan's 20 points.
I'm just gonna say, look, I don't know about y'all, but
397.9, 329.
Okay, look, so there's something about funny cars right now, especially this one in particular. If I were a diecast collector, I would be all over this one. This American Rebel Light funny car is a classic looking funny car paint scheme. It would be, dude, if I collected diecast, I would be.
And these guys were 80 grit today.
All over that one. That is a sick looking paint scheme for a funny car. Like it is absolutely perfect. I like that. Hagan with a big win, tightens it up on Proc. Man, Proc seemed unbeatable. Right, number 1 qualifier, low on Friday. Golly, there was so much momentum, and stumbled in eliminations, and Hagan and them tighten it up. So we'll take it out to check out the points here in a little bit.
Baby girl's birthday, and you just earned her a Wally on her 16th birthday as you take the Wally here from the Napa Midwest Nationals. And Matt, you also have earned a shot right back into this championship with a 20-point deficit. When you look at that, how fired up does that make this operation?
It's huge. I mean, first of all, thank you, Napa, for presenting this and putting this race on.
I know, that's a bummer.
Man, it's never over, right? Like, it's always, within striking distance. And we got American Rebel out here this weekend, and he had 50 people here, and we're just glad to put on a show with that. But then you got Dodge with Direct Connection and Jason Johnson with all the Johnson Horsepower Garage stuff. I mean, I have some of the coolest sponsors I think I've ever had in my career. And, man, we are definitely going to pour some American Rebel Light this weekend. Man, my guys, Mike Knutson, it's his second win as a crew chief back in the hunt here. I mean, how could you ask for much more? I know we were second in points and 20 points out of first. So, man, I just got to keep doing my job on the starting line, and they're doing theirs on there, and this will come together. We're all pulling this rope in the same direction. So, thank you so much.
Yeah, so like that American Rebel Light scheme. Remember like the old rug doctor schemes, like all that, like that classic. The way the body lines are and the way that paint scheme, it's such a classic looking paint scheme. I enjoy it. But your funny car points look like this. See, Matt Hagan tightened it up. It's a 20-point deficit now. Hagan tightened it up. Fast Jack tightened it up. Caps is struggling there in the back. But man, a couple of low ETs, and number one, maybe if you never know what could happen. We got us some battles up and down the board. We checked out the Top Fuel final earlier, but here's our Top Fuel battle. It's kind of it's running away, but one bad race, and you know where it could go. Justin Ashley there in second. Tony Stewart getting put out in the first round. That really hurt, especially 1 and 2 advanced all the way to the semifinals with number one advancing and winning the race. Etta playing spoiler there early in the weekend, and Top Fuel putting smoke out in round number 1. But we'll be back on next Monday night. Let's see here. Hang on just a second. When will we be back? I think we'll be back on next Monday night. No, we'll be back on the following Monday. Not next Monday, but the following Monday. So be looking out for some content. Again, I'm getting ready to go to Pomona to the finals. I need some help getting there. If you guys go to the link in my bio, I've got my first 3 links for help me get to Pomona. Every $5 donated will get you in the drawing to win a ATYL Media captain's hat. I'm going to get all 4 champions to sign the top of the hat. I'm going to get the ATYL Media patch put on it. All 4 champions to sign the top of the hat. And I'll even scribble my autograph on there for you. Every $5 donated gets you in the running to win a hat. So if you donate $10, you get two pieces in the pie. It'll be a pinwheel. I'm going to spin it 5 times. Each time, one person will win a hat. And any leftover funds I have, I'll get some T-shirts and stuff, and we'll spin the wheel to anybody that donated. We'll get those too. So I'd appreciate anybody's help to help me get out there. But until October 13th, we shall see you then. You guys keep digging. And for everybody over at ATYL Media, Miss Taylor Kitchen, and all the creators at ATYL Media, thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in to Nitro Nation. You guys have a great night. We Duke out.